Hello and welcome to the Tech and Sports Podcast. Tech and Sports is a show about how technology is revolutionizing all of the major sports as well as health and fitness. You can find it on your podcast service of choice. My name is Alex Radu and I'm here with the extraordinary Mandy Kovacs.
What up?
This week we look at the latest news out of FIFA and its ever-evolving relationship with video replay. Plus we wrap up CES 2018 and all of the other major news in sports and fitness. But before we get to that, we would really appreciate it if you would review and rate the Tech and Sports Podcast on iTunes and Google Play, or wherever else you get your podcasts. It really does help us grow the show, and we really appreciate all of the support so far. And with that, sit back and relax, because the Tech and Sports crew is entering the game. All right, Mandy, so the news.
All right, so first up, we spent a whole episode a few months ago discussing whether spying with drones should be allowed, and it seems we're not the only ones thinking about that. The New York Mets have partnered with Dedrone, a company that helps teams protect their venues from malicious drones, to secure the airspace around Citi Field. Last year, a drone crashed into the stands at Petco Park during a San Diego Padres game, and given that the Mets Stadium is uniquely positioned about a mile outside of LaGuardia Airport, they probably have a little more to worry about than most MLB teams. So apparently, Mets personnel were getting reports of 2 to 3 drone sightings in their airspace every day this past year. So they've introduced the Dedrone platform, which connects radio frequency sensors and video cameras to the ballpark's infrastructure. The system helps the security team detect and identify a drone, track its flight path back to the pilot, and record video evidence for further investigation. Dedrone actually provided the aerial security for the Golden State Warriors championship parade last year as well, so I think we're only going to see more of this type of action being taken.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I mean, this is going to be, I guess, an issue that everyone's thinking about outside of, like, if you play outside, basically. I mean, like, obviously, like, the NBA, NHL, they don't really have to deal with drone spying because, as far as we know, drones cannot penetrate through walls yet. So, until then, it's just outdoor sports. But yeah, this is just going to be a thing, I think.
Yeah, I think we're going to see every MLB put this into play, honestly.
Yeah, every NFL team, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, I would be surprised if more of them didn't already do this. And it's just, we just don't know about it. They're just not speaking out loud about it.
Which is very possible, yeah. All right, and this weekend, Germany's FC Bayern Munich will be hosting what it calls Hack Days to help create innovative fan experiences. The team put out the announcement for the hackathon in November and received over 1,300 applications from people around the world who wanted to take part. So they've narrowed it down to 220 participants from 40 countries who will be split into 70 individual teams of 3 to 5 members. Each group will focus on 7 predetermined challenges, which include how to best use VR, how to engage Generation Z via mobile devices, and how to create a shared fan experience both in stadium and out of venue. All teams will present their ideas on January 22nd. So we might have more on this story next episode, depending on what information actually gets released. A jury consisting of industry experts and executives will choose one winner from each of the 7 challenges, then choose one overall winner of the event, who will receive a prize package from the club, as well as the opportunity for more involvement with Bayern Munich going forward.
So I love this.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Such a great idea.
It's a really great idea. We're always talking about, outside of sports, STEM and the importance of getting kids involved and how, in Canada, that's actually going pretty well. Right now, there's a lot more companies stepping it up more so than usual. So get, like, sports teams actually doing that is such a brilliant idea. Because it's going to target kids and people who, like, if you're not in the tech industry at all and your school's not very connected to a STEM program, you might not hear about it. But, like, if the Leafs did something, that would make noise.
Yeah, sign me up.
I mean, this is the biggest, sport team in all of Germany. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant.
I really like the crowdsourcing perspective as well, too, right? Because, I mean, you're implementing these technologies for the fans at the end of the day. So by actually asking them what they want to see, I think that's a really good route to go down.
And you'll never know, what ideas pop up from here, just because it's just someone who's maybe not in the industry coming up with an idea that no one's thought of, and that's really cool.
Absolutely. All right, next, Intel has unveiled a very ambitious plan for the upcoming 2018 Winter Olympics in Pyeongchang, South Korea, that includes producing the largest scale virtual reality event ever with its official broadcast partners. The tech giant has pledged more than 50 hours of live programming on its True VR platform for 30 different events like downhill skiing, figure skating, and hockey, which will appear both live and on demand. This is the first time ever any of the Winter Olympics will be available in VR, and Intel says that there should be between 3 and 6 different camera angle options per event, in addition to the immersive panoramic views of VR. There will also be non-event coverage as well included in this, like tours of Olympic venues and of scenic areas around South Korea. This content will be available on NBC's new Sports VR app in the US, but Intel did not specify where for other countries. Unfortunately, we'll work on that for you guys.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully we can find a way to view this in Canada. I'm sure even if we can't, we can somehow find a way to get access to it.
I'm assuming it'd be on CBC's app or TSN because they're generally the main covers.
I want to say CBC, yeah.
Yeah,
so
they cover the Olympics.
Maybe.
most.
If not, I'm sure we'll be able to get access to NBC somehow. So we will be back reporting on all of this because we will definitely be trying all of this out.
Absolutely.
Ideally for every single event. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Okay, and in more Olympic news, Samsung has announced that it's given 2 Dutch short track speed skaters its smartsuit to help them win Olympic gold. The suit has 5 sensors embedded in it, which will allow it to measure body posture and calculate how far a skater's hips are from the ice. And for speed skaters, when this distance is maximized, they can increase their speed, which is a crucial edge in a sport where races are won by literal milliseconds. The data is captured and displayed in an accompanying smartphone app so it can be analyzed in real time by a coach. And so when a skater isn't crouched down at the optimal level, coaches will receive a notification, which can then be forwarded to the athlete itself as a vibration on their fitness tracker so that they can correct their posture in real time.
Yeah, so this is awesome because it follows what we keep talking about with muscle memory.
Yeah.
And all these tiny things that's going to allow athletes to correct just tiny problems that they've had in technique and stuff like that their whole careers that they've never been able to see like the actual data so that they can adjust just a little bit
while they're actually going. Yeah,
so now they can actually do that and speed skating just seems to be the next one. Like this is gonna just make sports better, all this type of data.
Yeah, well, for any of you that don't really follow speed skating that much, like it's one of the sports where posture is absolutely crucial. Like that can make or break your entire career really, or cause you to fall and crash into the boards and then you're just done.
Yeah.
So, there we go. All right, and in similar news, a collaboration between swim.com and Spire has resulted in the Spire Health Tag wearable, which for $30 can be embedded onto any swimsuit available on the swimoutlet.com website. So the device is basically stitched right into the suit just under the belt line, and it lasts for the entire lifetime of the suit without ever needing to be recharged. It automatically starts and stops as a swimmer moves on and off the wall, and it collects basic information about distance, time, and laps, as well as more advanced stats like stroke type and stroke count. It doesn't cover heart rate, unfortunately, because they say that the water tends to provide less reliable readings, but that they are working on it. So the data is then logged onto swim.com's existing swim workout platform via Bluetooth so players can keep track of it all. The companies essentially released this because they wanted it to be a cheaper, easier option for swimmers instead of buying expensive wearable devices like the Apple Watch and Fitbit, which regularly retail well over $200. And I mean, as a swimmer myself, this is awesome. I would use it.
This is cool. I don't really know how it's going to provide more advanced stats than a smartwatch, considering it doesn't cover that much bigger of an area.
Well, that's the thing. So it's supposed to provide the exact same. But, I mean, for $30, you can add it to, like, a $70 swimsuit. That comes to, $100 plus shipping, whatever, which is still significantly cheaper than buying an Apple Watch for this specific purpose.
Yeah, no, I guess it's a really good example of wearables and this type of data being made more accessible just to everybody.
Yes.
Not just, people who are going to be pro swimmers, but if you swim, in the summer competitively, this could help.
Yeah, I agree. All right, and we now have news that Siri will be able to answer all of your questions about the ATP tennis and PGA golf tournament tours this year. So starting with the currently underway Australian Open, Apple users can ask Siri about past and present tournament results, individual player stats, performance data, and just general updates about the tournament. And when it comes to the PGA and LPGA tour, you can also get past and present tournament information and live updates.
I'm very underwhelmed by this.
Yeah, but I think I included it because Siri is behind on so many things, so it's nice to be able to ask her for some live updates.
I mean, like, I don't have my phone near me or an Alexa device or a Google Home near me right now, but I'm almost certain that I could just ask them that as well, and Google and Alexa and Amazon didn't need to make some big announcement.
Yeah, well, you just hate Apple, though, in general, so whatever. All right, and then now moving on to some of the CES things. There were a lot of exciting sports tech announcements coming out of CES 2018 last week because it finally had a dedicated sports tech zone. So as promised, we wanted to give you another quick roundup of what went down. So first, boxing legend Floyd Mayweather has officially launched his own virtual reality fitness experience. So right now, people can download the VR app and use it at home as long as they have a VR headset and hand controllers. People can select a 12-week program based on 3 preferences: training, pad work, or head-to-head virtual competition. And in all 3 modes, Mayweather is your trainer and teaches users some of his trademark moves, like how to throw a punch, dodge a punch, or really just the 5 Ds from dodgeball: dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
Great callback.
Almost stuttered through that, but hey. Right, so users can also train in a number of different virtual environments, and the hand control helps track calories, speed, and intensity. However, to actually get in the ring with Mayweather, people will need to go to his flagship gym location in LA, which is set to launch in just a couple weeks. The gym will have boxing lessons, obviously, and other more traditional fitness classes that use the VR experience as supplemental training. Mayweather is also planning on adding about 50 other boxers to the experience so people can pick and choose who they want to learn from. There's also a subscription-based model within the VR app that lets people compete against each other in a virtual league to add some collaboration.
That's awesome. We talked about this a little bit last week about how VR and working out can really change it. So I really think what's going to be cool is once VR headsets become a lot more comfortable and don't hurt your head as much, and you could actually wear them for a full workout. It's going to be awesome to use because you can do things like that. I really love the idea that you could compete with other people. Like you can be like, you could have like your own stats that you could try and achieve and break records. I mean, that sort of stuff is why we all keep playing games on our phone and stuff like that just to beat our high score. That's why Tetris is so, popular and has been for forever.
Yeah, fair enough.
So like taking that mentality and putting towards working out is just going to make everything healthier.
Yeah. Although I guess the VR workout thing in general, I just wonder how they're going to deal with the sweat. And like, wouldn't that, sweat and electronics don't really mix.
No, they don't.
So
I think, that's why I focus on the VR headset. I don't think VR headsets are there yet.
Yeah.
But I think it really is only a matter of time before like a fitness, like it'd be like, oh, here's the Oculus Rift Fitness Edition or whatever, and it's
maybe with like a built-in sweatband or something.
Yeah, or like just something that's going to be more ideal towards actual sport.
Yeah, I could see that happening. Okay, next, Panasonic has released its vision for the Stadium of the Future, and it revolves around 4 different technologies. So first is facial recognition technology, which will help us move even further away from paper tickets that we've been using for decades now. But the real application for facial recognition technology is security. So every sporting event is packed with security, and with facial recognition, stadiums could actually become even safer. The idea of using this tech for media members and people with credentials to access specific parts of the stadium is also being played around with. Next, Panasonic also said that augmented reality would be a key part of its Stadium of the Future. AR is going to obviously enhance the parts of the event where no game is being played, like halftime and before the game with all sorts of different AR games, hopefully. Next, they also flagged drone delivery. So imagine being able to skip the concession lines and have a drone actually deliver your drink and food. This idea sounds good. In practice, we may have to go a ways before the drone delivery is actually a real thing. In Argentina, for example, a soccer team using this method had to shut it down when a fan threw a roll of cash register paper at it, knocking the drone out of the sky, which is weird.
Totally a thing that would happen, though.
In Argentina.
Everywhere. Every single sporting event.
Maybe.
There would be someone who would try and knock the drone out. That's why there's alcohol at all these events.
It's like target practice.
There will be someone who tries to knock a drone out of the sky at a sporting event.
Yeah, it'll be wild. And then the last technology that they flagged was personalized instant replay. So this would allow fans to interact with video replay and check out moments from their event in their own way and on their own time. So Panasonic's vision for all of these sports venues is expected to be put into reality between 2025 and 2030. So we got a ways to go.
Yeah, it's kind of really basic when it comes to their vision.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these stuff, they're already kind of being implemented in certain ways. So the fact that it's going to be 2025 to 2030 when it's actually implemented in full in a lot of places, that's cool. We'll see how it turns out.
Well, I think by that they mean like the next stadiums that are being built will just have all of this already integrated into it instead of having to add it later.
Yeah.
Which is fine. Cool. And now, Omron Corporation has launched an artificial intelligence robot called Forfeeis that can help tutor you in table tennis. The machine sits above the table, kind of like a spider, and thanks to AI, the machine can serve, predict an opposing player's smash, and produce sound relating to the match. Forfeeis has 2 cameras that allow it to identify ping pong balls in a 3D space up to 80 times per second that replicates the human visual system, and another camera on its front that's used to evaluate players and ability levels based on their movements. Its robotic arm is controlled through AI, and it has a 5-axis motor system, so it can swing the paddle just like a human, and it can also calculate ball trajectories, so it's always in the right position.
So that's, I think, going to be really fun and cool to see. My problem with this type of technology, I guess, is the idea that how accessible is it going to be? Like, this seems like something that won't be accessible to really anybody.
Yeah, I couldn't find any pricing, but I'm assuming it's very expensive and probably for, table tennis pros.
Yeah.
Because they do exist.
They do.
It is an Olympic sport.
It's a very fun Olympic sport to watch.
Yeah. All right. And last but not least, coming from CES, Seoul Electronics unveiled AI-enabled earphones as well that monitor running form in real time and provides users with live in-ear coaching. The earphones can be paired with any smartphone and starts measuring things like step length, shock, maximum leg force, and more right away, and then tells you how to improve these to increase your performance and minimize risk of injury. So this tech is available in 2 of their products, the Run Free Pro Bio, which is available for $150, and the Blade, which retails for $250.
So this kind of sounds like something that a company like Fitbit's already doing, but just like a little more specific already.
Yeah.
Because like these are their only products compared to a whole line of them. So like I really like the idea that you'd be able to like prevent injury and stuff like that. And I think that's cool, and we're just going to see more companies do this.
Yeah, well, I think the difference with this is that it's actually built into the earphones as opposed to, like, Fitbit normal wearable devices. Like, the AI would be built into your watch instead of the headphones.
Although I do believe Fitbit has its own headphones now.
It does, but I think they're just normal headphones. They don't have the coaching built into them. At least not yet.
Got it. Yeah, well, I would be shocked if that didn't happen in the next year or 2.
Yeah, exactly. All right, that's it for the news. Let's move on to our discussion.
Yeah, so we're going to talk today about FIFA and soccer in general and video replay, because that's, I think, the last sport to not adopt it yet, or at least when you think about, like, the major sports in the world. So here's what happened recently. In a French soccer league, they've suspended the use of goal line technology after a series of glitches in the last month. Last month, the league complained that the technology indicated to an official that a shot on goal had crossed the goal line when it actually had not. So this technology refers to the fact that referees, through the use of smartwatches, are able, whenever a goal is technically recorded, the watch would, it would vibrate or something would flash, something, etc., something like that. So there have been errors revolving around that. But after the 2 more errors in the quarterfinal matches last week, where a referee's watch vibrated when there was no goal, and then it didn't vibrate when there was one later, the French league has officially suspended the use of the technology. So this puts the contract between Goal Control, which is the German company that provides this technology, and the French league in doubt, and it also raises doubts about whether it'll be used in the FIFA World Cup this summer. So Goal Control was supposed to provide the tech, but FIFA has yet to confirm if it'll go through with the plan after quite a few complaints about it beyond this French league. So I guess my kind of point with this is don't use that company. Like they can't be the only company that uses this technology, or that has this type of technology. Also, like, why do we need, like, fancy, like, watches and smartwatches? No other sport's using that.
Yeah, I don't know.
We just need cameras on the goal line.
Right? I don't know. I mean, yeah, this whole thing is just kind of dumb, really, when you think about it. Like, the company, yes, need to improve their technology, but there are so many other companies that provide this goal line technology or just video-assisted replay that I feel like you don't need to stick with this. I know they've kind of already signed a contract, so, I mean, that's where they're tied. But FIFA now has, 6 months until the World Cup? I'm sure they can figure something out in then.
Yeah, and I mean, just to play devil's advocate, I see why in soccer you would go with this route, because you wouldn't want to stop the game. Because time never stops, and then, I mean, you don't want to go to a point where it's like, oh, the 90th minute, and then it's like, oh yeah, here's an extra 20 minutes at a time because of a video replay or something like that. So I totally get wanting to avoid that type of thing happening. But this type of technology is just super wonky, and I imagine it's all over Bluetooth and just sensors and stuff like that. Soccer, again, is mostly outdoors. If something happens, it's just totally just does not seem reliable.
Yeah.
And while in practice, it sounds really cool. I think they just need to, for now, adopt just a goal line camera. Just to see, like, if the ball crossed it. We don't need, like, the ref has to see it, and then also, their wristwatch would go off if it was to confirm it. Like, it just doesn't seem too reliable.
Yeah, to be honest, I don't know why they didn't think about this before, because when you're outside, you have all sorts of radio frequency interference, right? Like, everyone has a cell phone. You have all of the camera wires and the Wi-Fi of the stadium going on. So, I mean, to me, like, this is obvious. Of course you would have this problem, especially if it is using Bluetooth, which we're not sure about, but I would assume, I don't know what other way that they would have it. But
I want to just continue to play devil's advocate here.
All right.
And as to why, I think they should, like, them banning this is totally the right call. If it's just going to cause confusion, then why are they doing that? That's ridiculous. But it just seems like if you had to choose as a soccer fan between this tech, no tech, and goal line just video tech that delays the game, which would you pick? Between those three.
Yeah, the last one.
So where just a video.
Yeah.
See, I don't know if that's the right way to go about it.
I don't know. I mean, like, why can't they just put a camera on the goal line and have someone with a tablet sitting on the sidelines, and there you go. So when there's a goal, they check that replay. They're always watching it. Sure, see that it's a goal, see that it's not a goal, and then tell the referee. Like, text him or something. Like, there's got to be an easier way than having this technology then have to rely on notifying them via their smartwatch or whatever. Like, that just seems like there's a lot of steps, and they could simplify this by just having a dude on the sideline and a couple cameras on the goal line.
It also makes me wonder, and this is a stat I'll have to bring back later, how many goals are often in doubt when it comes to soccer? Because it's not like hockey where, like, you're covering up a pad that could maybe potentially see something, like if there's roughness happening around. Like, when a goal is scored in soccer, it's very, like, obvious
it is
in
very
most
obvious.
In most cases. So I do wonder how necessary this is, and I think that's also why they're so easily able to ban it, and that why the soccer's just so far behind it, because I feel like it's not an occurrence that happens too often. And when it does happen, it sucks, but it's not, I think, something that is totally game-breaking. It's not as bad as, like, how the NHL and NBA and NFL have to deal with all this.
But then you have the phantom goal from the Puerto Rico game, I think it was. Panama game. That it was a phantom goal, shouldn't have counted, and then the U.S. was eliminated from the World Cup as a result.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd like to think, after, months of hindsightness on that, I'd like to say that that's just due karma for the U.S. thinking that they deserve to make it in and not try at all, and not put together a good team at all, and just rely on a bunch of old guys and not, develop, American soccer players. But hey, I digress.
Wow. Alex's rant. I don't know. I feel like this is just super unfortunate that it happened, because, I mean, soccer, the world of soccer is so skeptical of technology and a video replay as it is. And then for this to happen, I feel like it's just destroyed their faith in technology. And to be honest, I would put money on FIFA not using goal line technology in the World Cup. And that makes me sad, because for some situations, I do think it's necessary.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I don't think they use it. If you had to put money right now, I would bet that they don't use anything this summer.
Which just sucks. And I mean, like, although it kind of makes me happy, at least the NHL is not the league that's the furthest behind, technological advances. It's FIFA, which isn't saying much.
But in soccer's defense, actually, I don't even know whose defense this is in. FIFA is one of the most corrupt organizations in the world.
Yes, that's true.
So the fact that the NHL is just barely beating it isn't exactly a rousing push towards the NHL.
No, that doesn't give me much hope either, but it's a thing. Anyway, that's it for today's episode of Tech and Sports. Thank you all for listening. You can follow us on Twitter at ITV Tech and Sports, or our personal accounts at Mandy V. Kovacs and at Alex T. Radu. Once again, if you could give us a like or a rating on iTunes, that would be amazing. We appreciate all of you. Thanks. Bye.